Hello, my name is Wiggins and I am a Speedball demo artist, and today we are going to do something I like to call puzzle printmaking. So how that kind of works is I take my Linocut blocks, and this is one of my Linocut blocks is a cat I carved out, and then I'm going to because this is one block by itself, so this is going to be inked in one color. And this is another block I've made that I carved out from it. And this is going to be like the background image. And this is going to be the foreground image. And what we're going to do is we're going to ink this one separately. Then we're going to ink this one with another color. And we're going to fit them together like that. And print them once. And then you could get a cool looking image. This is a really interesting way, so you can print a two-color image and only print it once, and I think it's pretty neat, and I thought I was going to show everybody how to do it. So one of the first steps is you have to carve out an image, right? And so how that kind of works is you just carve out what you don't want. I already have this block kind of carved out. This is an older block I've had. Maybe if you've done printmaking before and you had Linocut blocks laying around, all I did was take this, I put it on another piece of linoleum, I literally cut it out the size I wanted it to be, and then I kind of drew an image around my Linocut block, and then after I did that, I kind of drew out what I wanted to carve. And so this is a cat that's kind of like thinking about fish. It's kind of like a thought bubble. So I thought that'd be really interesting image to make. And so everywhere that's like black lines, I'm gonna carve those out. Maybe later in the future I might try to carve them out more. But I'm just kind of curious to see what the image is gonna look like. Actually, you know what? I might just carve them out the whole shape so they kind of look like fish. Cat's thinking about fish. So that's what I'm kind of going for today. So yeah, and so these are all Speedball products. I'm going to use this Speedball lino cutter tool to kind of do most of the grunt work. And then I have this handy dandy, it's like the disc drain, so that when it's like this, it's called slip stop, so that when you put your block down and you're trying to carve on it, it's not going to move, so that way you don't cut yourself, and it's easier to keep things down. It needs to just stay down. They don't need to move. And so yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Awesome. So thanks again for Speedball for letting me do this, and also for posting on Instagram and social media. And thanks for everybody for tuning in, and hopefully we're going to get something. Actually, I've done this a couple times, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I hope you enjoy it. And so yeah, so all that being said, I'm going to get started carving. And so I'm going to carve everything here out, everything that's not this image here, I'm going to carve out. So in between with the goldfish, I'm going to carve that out. I'm going to leave this kind of that's what's going to get the color. This is going to be the positive space. This is going to be the negative space. And so again, it's like a theme of a cat thinking about goldfish, but fish in general. So yeah, I think that'd be kind of funny. My art is typically very funny, lots of jokes, and that's what I'm all about. All right, so the next step is going to be to carve this block out. Alright, so I'm showing what I'm doing to carve out this block. And so carving out all the areas of this block that I don't want. So I don't want any of this stuff. So I'm carving it out. So all of this is going to go away. So you just... Alright, so we're back in business. Alright, so the next step is going to be to, I'm going to cut out all of this stuff. And just cut it out. First, I got my scissors. So, Linocut, all you do is just cut it out. Cut out what you don't want. And because I'm going to be making this like a puzzle piece, these separate Linocut pieces are going to fit together. And so I'll just take some, you have to make sure they're pretty sharp. So if you're going to do this with kids, they have to be some heavy duty scissors. The kind of kids' scissors won't work out too good, at least for what I'm doing right now. Alright, so that's carved away. The next part is to carve this stuff out. And if you get a little, you can carve a little part out of there. That's okay. So yeah, this is you just carve it out. A lot of people ask me how I do it, and it's part of Linocut. You actually do it. You just carve out what you don't want. And so there we go. And so this is gonna fit like this, right in like that. So I'm gonna ink one part of it and then ink the other part, and we should be good to go. So yeah, I'm gonna get this little part up in here. And in hindsight, I probably should have made a live video instead of trying to record it, because I'm having a lot of trouble with technology today. But okay, so this fits in there real snug, just like that. So yeah. And that's what we want. You know what I mean? So ink this is gonna be one color, this is gonna be another color. So I'm gonna take out my tools again. Now I'm going to change this little knife and make sure that's nice and tight in there, just to show you guys. So if you see how there's a gap right in there, this is loosening it and this is tightening it up. And you see how it gets closer together. So anyhow, putting this in there and it fits right in that little slot. Then you tighten it up and it's good to go. And so put this on there. Now I'm going to carve a little bit more of this out just for fun. Thanks to everybody that's tuned in. Appreciate it. So I'm going to carve this part out. Because I want a little bit of a border. So I'm just going to carve out a little bit more. So I'm just carving out parts of the block. Just remembering I'm carving out what I don't want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because who's got time for perfection? I certainly don't. And so this little thing kind of comes out. And again, I'm going to take, this one is a number 5 tool. And it carves out the most of the block. So you just put it in there, tied up, ready to go. And so that part, just carving out the little annoying parts. And I like to have really clean images, so I carve out all the little nubbies, or I really don't know what their official term is. So yeah, I just drew the image on there and just carved out what I didn't want in the image. I think this is pretty good. This is ready to go. So yeah, So now the next part is I'm going to take all my little Linocut tools. This has a little storage compartment, and you just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey twist that, put all these in here, and then tighten this back up. And that's how you do that part. This is just like slip stop, the stuff you use to put underneath your dishes to drain them. Put the little dish drain. So I'm going to clean up my little area. I'm not quite sure what color I'm going to put these on. And the thing about this is that it's gonna fit righty-tighty right in there. Actually, I might cut a little bit more of this out. So that way. And some more of these guys have got to go. So these are going to get carved out with the scissors. And on the back of this is like burlap and stuff, so that's just making that noise when it gets carved out. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up like this, all nice and like that. And then this gets inked separately. And so these are just going to fit like that. Just like that. So we're going to take a quick commercial break while I get the rest of my stuff. We also have red ink. This is definitely going to be for the background. I'll make this blue ink. So that's going on. So this is going to be red and this is going to be blue. So to do that, what you have to do is you have to get some ink out of ink can. And this is like an inking plate, bench hook. And it kind of just can rest against your table. So I'm going to take some of this ink and I'm going to put it on this bench hook. So how this works is first you take the black tape off. And so So that comes off. And then what I usually do with this is all I do is like stick it on the table or something. Once this comes off, you're gonna take your little, like I have a plastic palette knife, and just gonna peel it back a little bit, and we're gonna get some ink out, and then we're going to put some on our little inking bench hook. And so I just kind of go back and forth, getting some ink out. Sometimes you get little, what I like to call terrorists. And you just kind of dispose of those. Because you don't want the dry ink, the parts of the ink that's dried, to get in your ink parts. Alright, and then the next part is you just take a little bit of the ink and then you run it out. And this actually might be more than what we need. So I have a little solution. I have a solution for that. You just, because it's like it's just making too much noise. You scrape some up. That still might be a little bit too much. So you just scrape up some more. Now that's a lot better. So that's got some blue on it. And so this next part is going to be the fun part. So I have a little tip. So these little things, this one and this one, I put on either side. I put on either side of this, right? And so once it's on either side of it, then I get some tape and I tape it down. Or we don't have to tape it down. So you just rub some ink over it. That looks really nice, actually. So you go back to this guy and ink it up. Also, pro tip, if you put one of these guys down, it makes it easier to roll ink on it. And you know you've put enough ink on it if the gray of the block it's getting harder to see the gray, and you see more of the ink color you're using. So you're seeing more of the blue now. And so we're just gonna run some ink on it. I guess I'm not going to be able to use these little runners things. So we get some more ink on it. And then and there we go. Then, whenever you have this, don't lay it like that. Lay it upside down, like that. That's way better. And then I'm going to take some of this ink and I'm going to put it back on this thing. So this next part is going to be interesting. I'm going to use this printing press to print it with. But until then, and we need to ink up our other part of the print, the cat part. So, and we said we were going to do that in red. So let's get out some red. So there's our red. And so now we got red, and we're gonna just and that's good enough for what we're going for. And then we just roll out the ink. So we're just going to roll it out. And so we got some ink rolled out. So we're good there. And then we're going to take this and roll it on our block. And so and this is just like the first one, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? Because who wants perfection? Who's got time for that? Alright, so we got this block, and we got this block. So we're going to put them together and print them. So we're going to take them over here to our press bed, and the cat is down, and then his fish thoughts are behind him. Alright? And so we're just gonna then what I like to do is take some scissors and just kind of you know what I mean? Just kind of give it a little tap. Just like that. And that'll fit her in there. So now that's where we want it to be. We're going to get some paper and some random scrap of paper. We put it on top of the block. We get our other part of the block ready to go. And then we apply the pressure. So for my press and what I'm doing, I usually have to do it 3 times. And this actually is feeling a little light. So what I'm going to do is find some more paper to actually print with, because all we're trying to do is just shiv up, make it more, add more pressure. And so you put these pieces of paper in there, and that should be good enough. and then press down. And then press this down. That's a little bit more. That's exactly what we want. That's the kind of pressure we want. And then press it down again. That should be. Press it down again. So I usually try to do it like 3 times. That's usually good enough. And then just toss all this to the side. And so here comes the magic reveal part. Let's see what we get. Yeah. And so there you go. And some of it, there's like some dried ink on there, but for what we're going for, this is pretty good. And I probably need to add another fish in the upper middle part. But I'm pretty pleased with it. So there you go. That is printing, Linocut printing with 2 blocks and printing them at once. Kind of like, I call it puzzle printing. All right. Thanks for everybody that's tuned in, and I appreciate it. And follow Speedball Art Products on social media, and you can follow me at Wiggins Artwork. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks again.